everybody, how's it going? Just kidding, it's COVID, and this sucks for everyone. I mean, I know that no one's surprised. Pandemics, it turns out, are not awesome. And that's the way things are. But I mean, like, it's a tough time. We're dealing with, some of us are dealing with the loss of family members. Some of us are dealing with having family members or friends that we care about that we can't be close to because of the potential of spreading diseases. And in some cases, like I know for me, I've got parents who live in a retirement home in a different province. I cannot travel to go see them, and I'm not allowed into the building to go see them. They're not spring chickens, and every time I don't get to see them, every day I don't see them is another day where I won't get to see them. It's difficult, right? This sucks for everybody. And then there's the work impact, right? Like for me, I'm lucky. I continue to be able to work. I work from home now, which is only an impact to me in the sense that now I work from home and I'm home from home and I parent from home and I never leave my fucking home, and I'm going crazy. But like that's the least concern in the whole wide world. We've got essential workers who are being told you have to go into work. We really hate the idea that we're paying you even like the least amount of money possible, but you have to go into work. And your job is suddenly hostile and dangerous and full of angry Karens. Like I feel for you guys. And then there's the people who are have lost their jobs or who've lost their businesses and are surviving on whether it's CERB or government programs of some. I almost said handout. Holy shit. Programs of some other form. Or going through savings. Like we're all having a fucking rough go right now. This sucks. Even churches are struggling, in their we don't pay taxes ever kind of a way. They're suddenly having to limit the number of people that they can have in the room at a time, and that's just a crime in Italy. I don't feel bad for them. Although I do get a kick out of the fact that people are referring to an actual fucking pandemic that is impacting our way of life and making it so that it's not safe to go to a church. And they're saying that this is the government imposing restrictions on the freedom of religion of the people. I'm looking at you, Preston fucking Manning. Are you kidding me? People are getting sick and dying, and your only thing is that you shouldn't stop the great church? Fuck you. Sorry, going off on a rant there. Okay, the good news, I've got my guest, Len Vampiro here, and Len will definitely be taking a very different approach than me. If you find me abrasive, you'll probably find him goddamn charming. The one thing we I'm sure agree on, Len, correct me if I'm wrong, but the government has done a fantastic job of really supporting that upper echelon of wealth in this country, making sure that they're well looked after, because as one of the little peons in the universe, whether I'm lower class or an essential worker or whatever, we're any second now the trickle down effect is going to kick in. I'm actually spending most of my days outside, staring at the sky, like waiting for the manna to fall from heaven. So that's awesome. The government's got our back, and the Ubermensch are looking out for us. I joke because literally it's all I can do.
You're not funny man. No, we do not agree. One single solitary little lick of a bit, sir. The fact is that the government, in their rush to lock us all up in our homes, has hurt everyone, even those who you would call fat cats. We're not going on vacation. We're not getting elective surgeries. We're not even drinking $10 beers in stadium box seats. We're just like you. We are feeling this pain, sir.
Yes, Len, you're the victim. Look, okay, anyways, to those watching, Len and I want to talk to you today about a topic that I know is near and dear to a lot of, to my heart and to a lot of the people I know's hearts, and that is local live music and the events industry in general. I am a musician, that's the bent I take on it, but there is any number of people in the performing arts and in the industry that surrounds it that are being impacted right now.
Local live music? Psh, do you mean those dangerous bars in the bad part of town that are full of, like, grown adults who can't help but spend their welfare money on, like, leather jackets and chains and studs and face tattoos and methamphetamines? Those people?
Yeah, Len, those people. People like me.
I don't even know what you're talking about right now. Are you saying that you think that Lenny Kravitz and Creed are having a hard time? The Hollywood elites, that's who you're here to stick up for?
God, you're just adorable when you talk about things you don't know anything about. Oh my fuck, Len. Look, I'm a local musician, and I'm a nobody. I will never be a super mega ultra rock star in a stadium full of tens of thousands of fans screaming my name and throwing their undergarments at me. That whole world has never been available to me. And I'm fine with that. Like there's a whole legion of sycophantic yes men and gatekeepers whose job it is to look at me and be like, no, you don't get to have the fame. And I don't want the fame. I never gave a shit. I mean, don't get me wrong. It'd be awesome if people heard music that I was doing and were moved by it. That's fantastic. But I'm just as happy, Len, playing in a small room to a handful of people who love what I do and who are moved by it. I don't need to be huge in order to have fun. And that's the thing is like, so I'm a musician, but I also have been putting on shows for like over 20 years. I started off putting on my own shows, and I've been involved for a very long time with a company here in town called the Calgary Beer Corps, and we put on underground punk, metal, rock and roll shows that someone like you, I'm sure, would definitely be all over taking in. Len.
You must be out of your fool mind if you think I'm gonna go to one of those bars. I mean, like, my driver sometimes goes by them real slow. I've seen them. I don't need the trouble.
Yes, Len, your opinions are valid and important. Look, it's been a troubling year for me as a musician. It's hard to be any kind of a creative when you're stuck in the house. I've been lucky enough to be involved with people who are cleverly using technology. I was just in a music video. I don't know if you knew this, Len, but I was just in a music video the other day that friends of mine put together, and it was awesome. And we shot the entire thing in our homes, in our basements, recorded all the instruments in our basements, like it was, or in various safe locations. And one of the bands I'm in, we are using this opportunity with the technology available to us to share tracks of our playing. And so I can, for example, I'll get a track of a drum track and I'll play it in my ear and I'll record a bass track, which we can then mix together. And we're using that as a method of writing music. That is an approach we've never taken before, and it's been paying off. So there's upsides. I see musicians doing the work, and that's awesome. And I'm sure that's true for a variety of creative types.
I, for one, cannot wait to hear your brand new music.
You're going to want to watch that, Lenny, old pal. Look, this brings us to the actual topic of our conversation today, and that is venues. I'm coming at this from a live music perspective, so in my mind, when I say venues, I mean spaces for musicians to play. But this could also be art galleries. It could be theatrical spaces. Any space where you can seat a large number of people or a small number of people, and where a performing art experience can be had. Putting on or running a venue is extremely difficult, and it's also extremely necessary. If you don't have whether it's a bar or an all ages venue, because those are important too, if you don't have that, you don't stop people from playing live music, right? And Len, you understand this. They go to back alley clinics or sorry, whole different topic. My bad. I got my wires crossed. They play shows in people's basements or abandoned buildings or renting community centers, maybe even in rich neighborhoods. And do you know what the difference between these kinds of spaces and a proper venue is, Lenny?
I don't know, is the answer hygiene?
Try and follow me on this one, Len. Venues are safe. And I don't mean safe spaces. I can feel you wanting to be like all puffy and conservative, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about safe spaces, although they should be that too. Fuck yes. But they are safe spaces in the sense that they have trained security staff who are, in this province at least, if not everywhere, they are certified by the government to be trained at doing this kind of thing. The live music industry, more than any other, requires properly trained, and not just even to the level that the government accepts, but when we're putting on shows, that the bouncing staff need to understand the fine line between controlling the chaos that comes and instigating the chaos that comes. And believe me, as someone who has been a bouncer, that is a fucking fine line, homeboy. But it's vital, right? This is you don't see people punching holes in the walls of a properly run venue. I mean, it happens, but it's not like a thing that happens all the time. It's vital to have spaces for people of all age groups to go and enjoy music, and do it in a safe, fun, welcoming, and encouraging environment. And this comes down on venues and promoters. That is their job. Now, the obvious struggle that they're facing right now, the obvious one is staffing, right? You've got, for a typical space, you're going to have security, you're going to have managers, you're going to have potentially bartenders and servers, depending on if it's an all ages venue or not. There's a lot of people who have jobs to do in that space in order for it to work. And most of that requires at least some amount of both certification and on-the-job training. And those people all require paychecks. So most of them, when this whole thing happened and the live music venues were shut down, most of them ended up on CERB or finding other work. And so when we open the doors again, it's possible that we've lost staff. It's possible that those people are not going to come back to their jobs. Not all of them, certainly, but there will be an impact. And that means that we don't have trained and certified staff where we used to. And that is a problem. But that's not the big problem. Honestly, the biggest problem facing people right now is the rent.
Rent? You're stuck in a pandemic under government-sanctioned quarantine lockdown, and you're complaining about having to pay your rent? Why are the lower classes so quick to have their hands out?
I am not asking for a handout. I am asking for you to shut the fuck up and let me make a point, you weasel fuck. All right, rent is crippling in this town. That's always been a problem, and like literally as my whole adult life, especially business rents have been just steadily higher and higher, and it's a fake problem. I don't understand. I'm not saying venues shouldn't have to pay rent, but like the amount of rent is absolutely ridiculous. The city has a serious fucking problem with empty buildings, Len. This isn't a COVID problem. COVID hasn't helped, but this has been, we just keep building shiny buildings for new people like you. Every fucking few years we've got a new one on the horizon, and a lot of those shiny buildings don't even have fucking tenants.
Hold on, sir. Hold on. Businesses should be able to purchase quality space in a quality building that caters to a certain level of elegant practicality. Or are you saying that all spacing should be depressed communist-era inspired concrete monoliths? Isn't architecture a kind of art? Why aren't you fighting for the architects?
Yeah, I do value architects, Len. And I value what they bring to a city, Len. And that's not the fucking point I'm trying to get. You're distracting me, Len. You are doing it intentionally. This is what you do. Okay? Not going to bite. The law of supply and demand is something that you should probably be very well versed in, if I'm not mistaken, Len. And what do we have here? We have a large supply of empty fucking space, meaning the demand for that space is probably not that high, which should do what with the cost of the object? That's like a basic fucking fact in our economy.
But
Supply, demand. This is your fucking language, dude. Look, landlords live in this bullshit fantasy world where they have this freedom to continue to charge outrageous rents no matter how good the economy's doing. Like, I know you wouldn't know about this, Len, but like to those that are watching, do you guys ever wonder why your favorite underground music venue suddenly starts putting on like electronic music shows or things that don't fit the vernacular of what they're going for? It's because making the rent is hard, right? Opening a new venue is even harder, right? Every time you you get a new business license, the fire department comes in and they tell you what your occupancy can be. And believe you me, those numbers are always on the decline. It's a losing battle. So now you don't even have the ability to make as much money per square foot as the last guy. You have to make more money per square foot, which means more money per patron, which means that you have options. You have to make people spend more money in your bar. You can either do that by charging more for drinks, or you can do that by serving people more liquor and maybe violating the law and making people unsafe. It's a fucking frustrating. It's bullshit.
well, business is hard. Listen, sir, if you don't know how to make profit out of your business, maybe you're in the wrong line of business altogether. I understand there's a real market for people who are selling avocado toast right now. Have you considered that, sir? Maybe a vocation change.
I'm just gonna pretend like I don't hear you. I'm just gonna pretend like I'm just gonna pretend. Okay. We keep losing our venues, right? We lost the Underground and the Warehouse. We lost Distillery number 1, Distillery number 2, Distillery number 3, Distortion. The Stetson's gone, the Shamrock is gone, the Multi is gone, Mikey's Juke Joint is gone, the New Black is gone, which was an all-ages venue. The Night Owl, Brew Brothers, Barfly, the Oak Tree Tavern, and that's just me straining for 5 seconds to think of in the last few years, the venues that we've lost, right? Venues are struggling and nobody is helping.
So why don't their fans start a GoFundMe page?
Wow, that was actually thoughtful. In some cases, we've done that. We've done various things to support venues. I donated money to Vern's to sponsor a chair in the name of the Calgary Beer Corps. And a lot of people are doing little things that they can along the way to support the venues. But, that's not going to bring in the giant rent.
Hang on. Are you telling me that the government is not creating a bunch of very excellent small business loans to help companies out right now?
Yeah, that's valid. I know there's COVID-related small business loans that are available to them. And, that's great, but it doesn't solve the problem, because all we're doing is we're taking all of these loans. And I know that the government has said that some of the loans, you don't have to repay the full amount or whatever. There's a lot going on there. I'm not an expert on those by any stretch, but I know that there's things. But that's the thing is, that still means that business, that small ass business, is taking more debt on and is going to have to carry that debt longer.
So you want free money?
Yeah, partly. I mean, personally, I think there's a number of things that we need, including free money, as you say. But we need to protect businesses from predatory landlords and protect landlords from predatory banks and all the way up the fucking change. Though, to be clear, fuck landlords. And there's a whole mess of other things that I probably don't even know about because I don't run a venue. But we need to look after people. You want to know who to talk to? Talk to Travis. Talk to Clint. Talk to Chris. In your town, wherever your town, if you're watching on the interwebs, wherever your town is, there are people that run live music venues and can tell you a lot better than I can what fucking they need in order to get through this. I mean, I could go on and on.
Oh, I think we all know that you can go on and on and on and on and on and on, sir. Listen, I don't want my tax dollars that I work super hard for paying for a bunch of filthy bars that aren't even economically viable.
Fine. And I don't want my tax dollars that I work super hard for paying to support a oil company that isn't economically viable. And I don't want my tax dollars that I work super fucking hard for funding stock buybacks for multinational corporations. And I don't want my tax dollars that I work super fucking hard for funding religious organizations, allowing them to continue to indoctrinate people and play three-card fucking Monty with child molesters. And I don't want my tax dollars that I work super fucking hard for paying for law enforcement that punishes people of color and poor people disproportionately when compared to... Dude, do you even fucking pay taxes? Or are you just hiding your money in some fucking Cayman Island shell
I can't
corporation?
hear you. I can't hear the filthy communist.
And mute. Dude, I get it. I get it. You cannot want your taxes to get used in ways that you don't like or that don't benefit you. I feel the same way. But we live in a really big society that has to cater to a lot of different interests and perspective. And right now, a lot of those interests need our support. Stimulus payments are a good start. But there's a lot more we need to do right now. And I know what you're going to say. I'm going to unmute you because I know exactly what you're going to say.
That's a perfectly reasonable way to approach things. If you're a completely insane person, like, who's going to pay for this? That's the question everyone wants to know. Who's going to pay for this?
Seriously, do not make me tell you about sovereign currencies and fiat currencies and economic spending and how economy works. Fuck, dude, I'm not an economist. And if you're like a business tycoon, then you should fucking know this. So either you already know that your argument is an attempt to not do nothing but falsely derail the conversation, or you're a buffoon and you shouldn't be in the position you're in. Which is it?
Okay, fine. Fine. But if live music is such a viable and important industry, why can't it pay for itself? Answer me that.
Dude, are you even listening? It can. Though, I mean, I do believe changes are necessary, but, like, don't take my word for it. Music Canada put together a report focused on Ontario, which I'll link in the description below. And that report claims that live music in Ontario in 2013 had a total economic impact of $1.2 billion and supported 10,500 full-time equivalent jobs, FTEs. Here's another report that I saw looking at BC. And it says that in 2017, BC's live music sector contributed almost 7,000 full-time jobs, $619.3 million in labor income, and $815.8 million in GDP to the provincial economy. Again, linked in the description here. That's a lot of money, and it'd be irresponsible to ignore this industry simply because it's largely made up of small businesses you don't know and supports people who look like me.
I've heard your various arguments, and I can't say that I agree. I can't say that I disagree. I totally disagree, but I can't say that I disagree because I want to make sure that you understand I'm coming into this with a fair and open mind. The question I have for you, sir, the question that I think on everyone's mind is, what can I do about it?
You? Nothing. I don't need you to do anything, Len. I learned a long time ago that people like you aren't going to put the work in to fix the problems that face our society. But to the people that are watching, there are things that we can do. There's groups like Canadian Live Music Association has a group called For the Love of Live. There's the Support Canadian Music, oh God, I'm going to ruin this. Support Canadian Venues / Soutenons nos scenes. Sorry, Quebec, I'm sorry, my education failed me and I'm terrible at French. But these are the groups that have answers that you need. Pay attention to the venue owners in your city. Like, help them spread the word and do what you can to help them. And talk to your government representatives, right? What it boils down to is, for me, live music, it changed my life. It changed a lot of people's lives. In some people's cases, it legitimately saved their lives. Now it's our turn to do our best for live music. So, please, everyone, spread the word. Len, thank you so much for all that you brought to this conversation. And just thank you.